Hello, and again, welcome to Bit Depth. I'm Santiago Ramones. Jesus Ramones is my oldest brother. Our parents had 3 kids. Jesus first, Daniel second, and myself third. And Jesus is 5 years older than me. Your birthday's in 2 days.
Yes.
And let's see. Tell us about yourself.
I am going to the University of Central Oklahoma for psychology. And hopefully I'll be doing some research here in a little bit. And like as soon as I graduate, I'll go into experimental psychology, my master's at UCO.
Okay. For the sake of, what is experimental psychology? Because that sounds vague and interesting.
Experimental psychology is just more like doing experiments to know more about the mind. Like, because I mean, we've all heard about like Pavlov's dog and stuff like that. So those are kind of like the experiments that, like, I mean, that is an experiment in psychology, just to learn more about how people think and even how like animals think, because that also like this is how this animal thinks. Like, you can almost kind of like reverse engineer it to like how we think. So yeah.
And what realm of experimental psychology would you like want to focus more on? You obviously like wouldn't do like, I mean, there's a big difference between doing like experimental psychology in like soldiers versus experimental psychology in like children or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, experimental psychology is like experimental psychology is just, I don't know, a subject or a thing, and then you do that in whatever it is. Like, I was thinking, the experiment that I had in mind had to do kind of with empathy and locus of control. To where...
What's your hypothesis?
I guess, I don't know if I have... My hypothesis is that... I don't know. I guess I had the experiment in mind just to kind of explore this thing. Yeah. But I don't have...
You just want to see what it is rather than make a guess about what is going to happen.
Because right now, I don't think... I talked to my professor. I don't think anybody's done this particular thing, which is... Because locus of control is like, you ask me... Like, I don't know. I stub my toe, and then I think, like, what do I attribute that to? Is it because I'm stupid, I should have looked out for, like, the thing that I stubbed my toe on?
Yeah.
Or, like, who the hell puts this thing over here? So it's either, like, an inward locus of control or an outward locus of control.
Okay.
So that already exists. What I was thinking is that there's not just that, there's also, like, a perceived locus of control. As in, like... Because you always hear about, like, people's, like, racists that say, like, how come black people don't just raise themselves up by their bootstraps, to where almost like, I got here, my life was hard, I got here and I worked hard, how come they're in that position, they don't work hard, to where, like, it's like, I work hard, and the reason why they're not here is because they don't work hard. So that's like an inner locus of control. Yeah. And they attribute, like, their locus of control also inner. Like, they suck. They're not trying hard enough. Yeah. You know? And that's, like, discounting their outer locus of control. Like, they're, like, you know, oh, you had it hard? So then you think that, like, they don't have it hard? Like, or, like, they had it just as hard as you? Or, like, that's, like, not putting into account a lot of their, or, like, the other person's locus of control. And I wanted to explore perceived locus of control.
Okay. And then, like, this will kind of, like, go into the other one, but, like, getting more into this, like, it kind of goes into the concept of, like, free will and all that, but, like, how someone who does think that, like, oh, well, these people, like, don't pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and what I think is just that, like, a kid in a gang growing up in the projects is not going to know to get out of there.
Yeah.
The gang is their protection. The gang is their brotherhood. And so...
They have a lot of reasons why to be in the gang.
Yeah. They have reasons to want to be in the gang and have reasons not to want to leave.
Yeah. And
mostly because, like, you know, oh, if I leave, they'll find me and kill me or whatever. And
or,
so...
like, I mean, they have a lot of reasons to stay and not a lot of reasons that they know about to leave.
Exactly.
Or not so much like that they don't, or like not a lot of, if they want to leave, like what are the ways that I could leave? Like they don't know.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And that's what I'm getting to, that you can't know an option that is outside of your realm of thinking. And so if...
By the way, did I say that, like, the research I wanted to do wasn't free will at all?
No, I just
okay.
Thought of
that's good because that is like, you know, I don't know, that the experiment is really in perceived locus of control, but I attach like these other things like that. It is free will. It is like empathy, and then I just find it cool that you got to free will without me really.
Yeah. Okay.
Although we've talked about free will.
Yeah. And so for those who like don't have the option, there's no way for them to think, oh, well, I got to get out of here. That's never been a thought that came across. And so, not that your realm of like psychology and experiments would directly affect this, but then it does kind of go into like social, social reconstruction and saying that like, hey, look, we need to provide the option in these places for people to know how to get out of these places. And I think something like your experiments would back that up.
Yeah, I was thinking that kind of, I don't know the really like practical uses, but it's really to show people kind of how hypocritical they are. Like, you know, that, because also sometimes is that, I don't know, like I guess with working out, like I like to work out, so then I may say that like, it's like it is hard for me, like to get up at 5 a.m. and like go work out. And other people might say that like, it's not because I work hard, it's because my life is easy. Like you have time to work out. Your life, your life is not that complicated. My life is complicated. I got a lot of shit to do. I just don't have time to work out. And then it's like, and again, it's that like, it's there. That attribution is not to, it's not too inward. Like, you know, they're discounting my inward, like, you know, the fact that I work hard, and then they're attributing it to my life is easy. Like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So I was gonna go into why. Well, what is it about psychology other than like, you know, like, because you could have gone into anything. You could have done music, or you could have done art. There was a time where you did really want to do art.
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember, but whenever I wanted to do art, I was really interested in advertising, which is like very, I don't know, I guess the way that I was interested in art was a very psychology way to be interested in art, to where like, it's just really interesting that like, there's like kind of like composition to art, to like, no, put this up here, it draws the eye this way, like, you know, this, these colors mean this, these colors, like, you know.
Yeah.
I was very attracted to like, almost kind of like that. I love art, but like to the mechanical aspect of art.
So when were you interested in art, and like, did you ever see that was like an actual career path for you?
I guess in high school, I was into art. Not that much. I mean, obviously, there's people much better than me. I liked doing art, and I liked like design. But whenever I started college, I just started with like kind of like the basics, and then I kind of realized that like there's no, I don't know, that'd be really hard to do.
Yeah. And then when did your interest in psychology begin?
I guess, and again, it's kind of like, that's just the way my mind thinks. It's very kind of like...
Ooh, actually, sorry. Because then there was also a point where you were doing, like, renewable energy.
Yeah, in between psychology and, I guess, graphic design, I wanted to do, or I was going to go for wind energy, and then I did some classes on that, but also it's like I was just doing that like because like I'll just get this degree real quick, I'll and I'll go and make a lot of money, and again, that's the thing, like I was doing it like I was thinking about doing that because of the money, not because
and that's always like a poor way of picking a major anyways, of like
not some people. Some people.
Well, yeah, some people do that well, but like I recently listened to Aziz Ansari on You Made It Weird, and like he had like a marketing degree, and Pete Holmes was like, "Oh, but you have a marketing degree, like you know how to make it in comedy," and Aziz was just like, that was just like a thing that I picked because I had to, and so like. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And so, like, kind of picking a thing because you have to is doesn't really seem to be a sound way of being at least happy with what you're doing.
And I'm interested in a lot of things in psychology. But then again, I'm interested because I'm interested in it. Like, I don't know. I'm also very interested in how people learn and, like, we talked a lot about like society and shit like that. But it's almost like kind of getting a degree doesn't mean anything because people can just drive through and get A's, and then it's like, oh my gosh, you have a degree in whatever, but like they really don't care about it. Yeah, it's just that like since we were kids, like it's not really about learning; it's about making A's. So. I don't know. I see. It's like, so you have a marketing degree, or like
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's like, no, I just went to class.
Yeah, but at least, and since you did change your major a few times, like, once you landed on psychology, like, do you really feel like this is like each class that you take, you're like, yeah, like
this is definitely what I do. This is definitely almost. Like how my mind works, but and again, there's a lot of things like in psychology that kind of not so much that don't make sense, but as in like we as psychologists kind of know the best way to teach people, but we're still doing it the way that like everybody else does it, like So I guess not everyone's psychology like really puts their mind or really thinks about like what's the best way to teach, but some of them do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that like it sometimes it's kind of hard to really apply everything, like all the knowledge that there is. And it's like, okay, let's fucking make something like better. Let's kind of like Steve Jobs with the computer. To where like the mouse had existed for like 20 years, the internet had existed for like 20 years, and then he just grabbed what Exxon, like Xerox had invented the mouse. They had it for like 20 years, and then he just went over there, and then they're like, oh yeah, we've had that for a long time. And then he was like, what? And then he just like grabbed a whole bunch of things and then like made the first like personal computer. And I feel like that's kind of like there's a lot of things like that in like our world too, where like we have like the materials, the essential materials to make things better. We have the knowledge of really how to teach people better. We just don't do it. Yeah. And that's kind of like the thing, or how I am in school right now. Because I'm not a very good student, like in this system. But
you're learning. Yeah, is the difference. That the goal in education is not to learn.
Mm.
The goal in education is to show proficiency.
Yeah.
So it's not even about that you absorb the material. It's about showing that you did well on the test, which is a very different thing.
Yeah. And I feel it's almost like to go to school is, I guess, just talking about psychology, I feel like it's kind of like a teaching kind of a philosophy. Like, you know, not so much a philosophy, but like it is kind of teaching you how to think. Like, if you do it right, it is kind of teaching you how to think. If you, like, these are the things you learn, and you don't have to learn, like, the specifics of it, as long as you know, like, the bigger idea. And, I don't know. Obviously, there's still a lot that I need to learn. But...
and then... lost it. Okay. So psychology is definitely like where you want to stay. I guess to touch on it a little bit, how will you make money?
I think that, I mean, I'll graduate and then I'll go to my master's and then hopefully I'll go into my doctorates, and I think I'll just be a professor at a university.
Yeah.
And do research, and then, I mean, hopefully, I have a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
go to Muditious.com.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, I do still want to, like, because right now I kind of, I've been lazy again, inward, out of control.
Yeah.
Like, it's me. I'm not trying hard enough. I could say that, like, you know, my life has been, no, I should be trying harder to put those podcasts up. But yeah, I'd like to, I don't know, like, keep doing that podcast thing.
Yeah. And do you think that will be enough money to help you survive until, like, to pay for your master's, pay for your doctorate?
My podcast, I'm not really expecting any money from it. I'm kind of just doing it for funsies. I do think that it's important to have these kinds of conversations. I like these kinds of conversations. These are just the kinds of conversations that I like to have. But I also think that it's important because I know that, like, you have like a philosophy thing, but it's almost like my philosophy is like, why do we go to school? If the point, I think the point is, you know, people think that the point is to get good grades, to get a good job, to get paid, to die rich. I feel like the point to go to school is to learn and to communicate what you've learned.
Yeah.
And then that way you raise everybody up with you. And then, so yeah, that's kind of, that's probably the reason why I think I do the podcast. And maybe that's like the more long-term thing as I get smarter. Like, you know, like right now I don't have a degree in psychology.
Yeah.
So, like, hopefully if I find out shit, if I, like, you know, keep talking to people, I communicate, like, you know, what I've learned. Yeah. And then I make other people smart. I listen to a lot of podcasts like Sam Harris, Chris Ryan. I learn a lot from Joe Rogan. Like, and I feel like listening to all those podcasts and listening to all those people speak has made me smarter. Yeah, no, I definitely see that too. That even though, like, oh, it's like these podcasts are free or whatever, but these are like very smart people with actual experience in these like realms that they do, and that honestly, listening to all of these podcasts is kind of its own college education, and so that even though I never took a class about like biological behavior and sexuality, it's like I read a book about it that Chris Ryan wrote, and then now I know a whole lot about it. Like, and so like, and no, I never took a class about penises, but now I know a lot about them. Yeah, but like, and you get way more from that than like going to like about like, you know, a human behavior class or whatever. Like, you know, because you did it out of like because you wanted to, and like all the, like, you really took it in.
And okay, so we had mentioned like your own personal philosophy thing, and so we're just going to go right into that. What is your life or personal philosophy? And then like let's just start with that one.
I like the scientific method. I think I don't know. I try to think almost like really mechanically. I have feelings. I'm not a robot. But I try to think almost like, what's the purpose of that? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, are you accomplishing it? Like, and is this the best way to accomplish your goal? And that's kind of how I think of school, to where like that we need to like change the way it is, because again, right now, whether we like it or not, the point of school is to get good grades, is so you can get a job. And like we kind of need to change it to like the point of school is to make you like, I don't know, smarter. Like, like, there's very like different ways that people think, and even in the scientific community, some people think this, some people think that, but like, it's just to make you more knowledgeable and to really teach you how to learn, teach you how to, like, so also like, because I would like to be a professor, I'd like to kind of apply things to almost like to change the system.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'd like to be better.
I mean, we've gone way into this before, but like in general, what would be your ideal system? Because like it looks like you are trying to change the world in some way, and I think everyone should want to change the world. But what is your ideal, like, free ponies for everyone, or like what would you want out of the world? What do you want the world to be, based on your own philosophy?
I do, again, if I were the king of the world, it wouldn't be me, king of the world.
Yeah.
If I were the king of the world, I would choose what I think are the smartest people, like scientifically, like, are the smartest people, not because like, oh, I like that dude. Like, I would pick the smartest people from like economists, sociologists, psychologists, like, and then those would be the people that would design the way the, like, society is structured. And then obviously, like, because a lot of the times I feel like things start from an ideal and then you work your way there. It's like, okay, this is what we want. How do we do it? And then so it's almost like it has to start with the economists, with the sociologists.
Yeah.
Like, it almost starts with the philosophers, and then it works like with the psychologists, to where like, how does that actually affect human beings, and then to the sociologists that kind of look at like the mass system, the economists, to where like, okay, how do all these little systems work out? And then it's like, okay, that like we designed it, that's what we want, like, then get like like really like technical people, like,
and this is all
architects and shit,
and this is all based on the scientific method, rather than it being based on something like because some rich guy said so, or because some king said so, but because like I do like what you're saying, that like if you were king of the world, you wouldn't be king of the world. And so like I appreciate that your philosophy applies directly to how you want the world to be, that it's based on like we learned something, therefore we have to apply it.
And again, and as soon as we learn that that's not true, let's change it.
Yeah. And that's very in line with me. It's my third thing, I might be wrong, is kind of my embrace of the scientific method. And so in this similar regard, how does that apply to religion and spirituality? And so, even though everything's very like scientific from that point of view, how does that apply? Because you mentioned I have feelings. So, like, where does your religion come from? Where does your and then how did you get there?
And I don't know. I guess I could tell the story. I guess.
Yeah.
Of how like we came from Venezuela and like we were Catholic, but we never really went to church. And then we came over here, 2001. I was 11, and then we started going to church more. And then I had never really thought too much about religion. And then we came here. Like, it was kind of easy to ignore religion back in Venezuela because we didn't go to church that much. And then we came over here and we started going to church, and it was a little harder to, like...
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like, okay, you're going to church now. Decide, do you believe in this?
Yeah.
And then after a while, I was like, no, I don't believe in this. And I just became, like, just atheist. When you die, nothing happens, like, blah, blah, blah. But also after a while, I kind of thought, like, that's too easy. Like, let's look at some reasons as to why, as to could there be something else after we die. And I mean, I've watched a lot of documentaries and shit about like other like societies and about like near-death experiences and stuff like that. To where it's most likely that when you die, nothing happens. But I do think that the world is kind of made out of fractals and like, almost kind of like in the free will thing. Like, you know, like I feel like I'm separate from you, but we're all made out of atoms. Like, you know, we're not, I mean, what makes me separate from you when we're both made out of the same things? And then it's like we are all interconnected. This is all interconnected. There is really no, like, you know, there's a whole bunch of, like, you know, little organisms inside me that make up what I am. Like, I am a macroorganism, and then we as human beings are a macroorganism. The Earth's biome is a macroorganism. So I feel like, I don't know, once I die, like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. I'll die. It'll be okay.
Yeah. I had mentioned you in my spiritual journey, I think, that one of my favorite like quotes that you had said, and you as my older brother have been very like influential to me in my like spiritual and religious experience. And so like one of my favorite things that you had said is like whenever you were still like kind of post-atheist but going into spirituality, you had said like I am God. And but then you like proceeded to explain that like all of the things in the universe, like if the universe is God and like we're all made up of the things in the universe and like we all come from stardust and everything. And so like I really loved the way that you had explained that like we are God.
Yeah. to where like it's almost like what, I don't know, because always if people ask me like do you believe in God? Like, explain God. And then go from there. It's like, do you believe, like, and then it's like, okay, do you believe in God? Explain God. It's like a white man in the sky with a beard. It's like, no. Okay, then I don't believe it. It's like, then I almost feel it, again, like fractals, to where it's like one thing makes up a bigger thing, and then that bigger thing makes up, and it's infinite, like, you know? Could it be that, like, we're part of a bigger thing, and that it's not even like, you know, we zoom out and then it's another person, like, you know, it's not like that, but to where it's more like something that we can't even really think you know, like that we can really fathom of it being, but it's still being some sort of life. I think that's possible. I love life, like, you know, but I'm kind of excited to die. Not excited, but like, so like I'm curious as to what's going to happen after we die. I mean, it could be that it's just dead end, but we'll see, because I have no fucking clue what it's like to not be alive.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what it's like.
Yeah. With all of that, how special are you? How special are we? In your point of view.
What do you mean, we? Humans?
Yeah, or just you, like, you, Jesus, or you, the soul inhabiting Jesus, or you, like, the...
I don't know. What am I? I mean, it's just like, how special is, like, one of the cells in my body? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, from this perspective, from, like, inside looking out, I'm very important. Yeah. I am the universe. Like, I am, I have no idea if you're real. Like, you know, like, so the only thing that I know is that I exist. Like, you know, that my consciousness exists. But, I mean, knowing that, like, and everybody that's like, I'm not important, blah, blah, like, and you don't acknowledge that you are the only conscious thing that you know. I don't know. I'm simultaneously, again, both things are true. Yeah. I'm simultaneously the most important thing that I know, and also I'm irrelevant.
Yeah. It's a duality. I like that word. It's a duality of, like, how special we are. And I've talked about this too, that we're at the same time absolutely nothing in the massive blip of the universe. And we're also, like, everything. And so if you're both extremely significant and insignificant, how much are people worth to you?
Let's see, again, I'm kind of going back to, like, how significant am I? And again, let's say, because I am trying to be, I don't know, an agent for the betterment of society. I would like to, like, work at, like, changing the educational system, like, you know, and, like, and if I work, let's say, like, you know, super awesome, I changed the world. I changed the way that we teach people, and then, and, like, after I do that, in 10 years, no more stupid people, and then, like, you know, and we do that, in 10 years, like, the world is, you know, imagine all the people, like, you know, that happens, like, you know, and I did it. I feel like it's not me. And again, like, because if it were to be me, like, I stand upon the shoulders of giants. It's almost like everything's, like, bubbling. Like, if you look at it far enough, it doesn't matter what is the first domino that, like, really hit it, because I'm not the first domino. Like, even if it's like, oh, look, it's Jesus's, like, way to teach people, and, like, and then 10 years, hey, look, because of Jesus, all this happens. Like, no, not really. Like, you know, like, a domino hit me, and then I hit another domino. And again, like, just from the macros, like, you know, you wouldn't be able to tell which was the human that, like, that did it. Yeah. Like, you know, just like you wouldn't, from the macro scale, you wouldn't be able to tell who was the human that's responsible for the atom bomb on, like, you know, on Japan. Just like, I mean, if you look at me, can you tell, like, which neuron was it that made me make one choice over the other? Yeah. It's irrelevant.
Yeah. A common counter argument to the view that, like, we're all insignificant is like, oh, then why should you care about other people? Not that I'm asking, but just why should you care?
Well, I mean, again, it's the duality. You gotta like realize that everyone is really insignificant and everybody's really, really significant. I do feel like I don't know. Even though that I think very kind of like robotically, that love and empathy and like do unto others. That's kind of like mathematically correct. Mm-hmm. Like a mathematically correct thing to do. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Be a nice person. But again, I'm not me telling some asshole be a nice person. That doesn't change them. Like that it's I don't know. I try to like I would try to tell people be a nice person, but like their environment, their like parents, their like to some tiny insignificant like degree, their genetics like have something to do with it, like to whether a person is an asshole or not. Like they learn how to be an asshole. So I mean, I believe don't be an asshole, but I mean,
yeah. The way that like I appreciate the way that you you construct everything both via feeling and more like mathematically, like robotically, that all of the feeling sort of is accounted for in the mechanics. But then how is that like, outside of the mechanics, like, do you just feel nice towards other people? Like,
yes. Yes, I do. I mean, I love people. I love you, obviously. I don't need to say that. I love you. And again, I don't think that a lot of like psychologists, whatever, people that study psychology, maybe not a lot of people view things in the way that I see it. But I do think that feelings are mechanical. Mm-hmm. Like you do feel a certain way. It does like seem like, oh, look, he's acting stupid because he's in love. Like, haha, how irrational. It's like, no, he's acting stupid for reasons. Like, like there's certain things that led him to be in love, and then those certain things led him to act the way he did. Like, so it's, yeah, I mean, I don't feel like it's almost, and again, it's like a gray scale to where like how much is it mechanical, how much is it feelings. Like, I mean, it's all mechanical, but also when you zoom out, it looks like feelings.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so then, is there free will?
No.
We
have an illusion of free will.
Yeah.
Just like I have an illusion. Well, the same thing. I have an illusion that I'm conscious. Like, I mean, but really, I'm made up of trillions of like bio organisms.
And you're okay with that?
Yes.
Well, you kind of have to be, but would you want others to think that way?
Kind of like the way that I don't know, because the selfish thing is yes. I think I'm right, so other people should be right too. Like, but I do think that it's important and not just important, it doesn't matter what I think. This is the way the world works. As in, like, people are going to have different, like, ways to think. And I feel like that's good. Like, because my point of view is not enough. So, like, and again, that's every human being is their own little experiment into like consciousness, into like the world, into like computing the way the world works, and just shit like just bubbles up, and then I feel like I'm just like I just aggregated a whole bunch of knowledge, and then like that's like my bubble.
Yeah.
But like, there's some shit that I could not have possibly have like gathered or learned that somebody else could have, and then that will change like the way that they think, and maybe they have a much better like philosophy or whatever, and then I mean, yeah, we and again within like we need to design society to facilitate the best shit to go up. To which, I mean, evolution does that. Evolution makes it so, like, you know, if you are good at surviving, you will, like, you know, you survive, and it kills out. And again, it sounds like evolution. Like, hello, I'm evolution, and I kill people. That, like, you know, it's not like that. It's just like, mathematically, that's the way it is.
So there's like, is there a right answer? Like
to
like how you should be as a person, or like the universe, or whatever. Like, is there like, because I feel that through our experience and through your experience that you've sort of taken all of the ideas and narrowed it down to what works best. Not even from like what you want to think or what you have been taught to believe, but like you've sort of tried your best to get rid of the bad ideas.
And again, that's something that I learned. It's not like not even completely like, look at you, you're so smart, like, you know. But it's also that's also an idea that got put into me by something else, and then like I tried to apply that.
But as that narrows down, do you think that there's just like a final narrowing down, or does it just keep going? I've used the reference of an asymptote. Do you know what an asymptote is? In math, in like graphing, whenever you know the curved line that approaches zero.
Yeah. It gets infinitely
closer to zero, but it never reaches zero.
Yeah.
Is there like...
Yes. I mean, that it's the nature of the universe. The universe is infinite. Like, time, as far as we know, goes on forever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's also like, I mean, will things get better and better and better? To what end? It's like, yes and no. Because, like, the universe is also always changing. So, I mean, we're not getting closer to one thing. We're getting closer to something that's infinitely changing.
Yeah. And so there's not really an end, but like sort of there's a zero, but we're not hitting it.
Because it's almost like if we want to be perfectly adapted to the universe. I don't even know if that's like the way we were going, but if we want to be perfectly adapted to the universe, I feel like eventually we just become one with the universe, and we just are the universe. But then again, aren't we already the universe? Aren't we already atoms, just like everything else?
We've had this conversation. I really enjoy it, but like you brought up the idea that like, since we are constantly evolving, and more of the fractals combine into larger organisms, like, I just want you to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean the singularity. But, that I mean, I don't know if that's the way, because again, the cookie crumbles. That's the one. Okay. I don't know if really where we're going. I mean, because I'd like to say that hopefully we'll have a scientific society to where like we don't decide things through like government and through people that like, my hunch tells me this is the way we should do it. Like we should do it through scientific methods, and hopefully eventually that's the way it'll be. And then once we get there, like what happens? Like, because obviously we're already really close to making AI. They will be way more efficient at like coming up with answers than us. And also like what I feel like eventually we'll create them, and then it's really. I feel like some people are afraid, but I feel like also it's like we kind of created us in a way, as in like we created our mind. We created a mind that like thinks in like in ways that it can communicate to us.
Yeah.
It's really our child if we create like a singularity and a super smart AI. I feel like obviously people smarter than me are terrified of AI. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think it'll be okay. If anything, I kind of feel like it'll be our savior.
Yeah. But beyond that singularity, where, like, because whenever we talked about it, like how the Earth becomes like one organism rather than it just being like a singularity that like sure, like all of the ideas are like in one place or like, you know, something like that, but like to the extent that we become sort of biology. Like,
have you have you heard about like, because there's some tribes I think that like don't have the word for I. They talk about themselves as we because they're so like communal that like it's almost like they don't have a concept for I. And like if they really think about it, it's like, sure, I'm a separate thing from them, but it's really us. Like I mean, it's like it's almost like you really understand that one day you will die, but really, I mean, you just remove that concept from your mind, and then you just keep like, you know, working at McDonald's or whatever. You know, it's keep doing whatever it is you do. It's a concept you can kind of understand, but that's just like them. And also, did you? Oh no, you didn't. I gotta give this to you. I subscribe. Oh no, you can do this anyways. Listen to spirituality.
What? Waking up?
Waking up.
I have listened to it.
Okay, and then remember the part where like you split the person's brain in half, and it's like it's two people. We're already two people within ourselves, and then who knows how many times we can split ourselves, like, you know, just within ourselves. So, and again, it's to say like, I am one person, but are we actually just two people? That's like, you know, when you split the brain, like you can actually have two personalities
with opposing ideas.
Yeah, with opposing ideas within yourself. When you split your brain, this happens for realsies. So then you're already two. I mean, just that experiment, like you're already two people. It's just that your brain hasn't been split, so the two halves talk to each other really, really well. You and I are already two people, or you and I are really already the same being. Like we're all humans. Like and it's really kind of like whenever you and I have the same idea, and like we like. Oh, yeah. Like,
yeah, just now how, like, you were like, the book, the thing, and I'm like, waking up, and you're like, and
that connection, like, at that moment, we were one. At that moment, we were a single thing. Whenever both of us were thinking about the same exact thing, it's no difference than whenever you split your brain, and then your left hemisphere talks to your right hemisphere, and then they're both completely 100%. They both have the same idea. Got it. That's the same thing that happens. People, you guys should do psychedelics. That's kind of the same thing that like I've gotten with. Also, like in doing psychedelics, you get like all these ideas that like, and then again, I've taken psychedelics and I've thought about that specific idea, but it's like almost that didn't come out until like we just now talked about it.
Yeah.
But that level, I feel like what we're trying to do, and I don't understand why, but what we're really trying to do is try to be connected. Just like both our brains are like different things, and we can probably split it further and further and further and further, like, you know, until like, oh, it's a whole bunch of like people inside, but like
Dissociative identity disorder.
But like, you know, but the two halves is makes up me. I'm just one person. I'm just one consciousness. You and I are disconnected by some sort of surgery. We're not. But like, whenever we have the same idea, we're one brain. We're one thing. Just like those tribe people that like have like no concept of being a separate thing. They just see themselves as the tribe. That's, I kind of feel like that's where we're going with, like, whenever we feel connected, whenever we feel like we're a part of a family, we lose ourselves when we become a greater thing. I think when we die, we become one with the universe.
Okay. And it's hard to say, like, obviously, we don't know. But I want to take all the steps necessary to make that happen. Do you?
Yeah.
And so, at least for you, that's like educating people in like psychology and scientific method and all that. In some way, we're all kind of a part of the, like, we're all the steps towards the singularity, even though we're just separate beings.
Again,
we're all striving for
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah. I feel like at all times we're really striving for connection. That's like kind of like people in love and stuff like that. Like when we're really happy, we really lose ourselves and we become, you know, connected to the other person and we become one thing. Not just like, oh, look, they're an item. Like, you know, not just like,
Yeah.
but really we become one thing. Like, how, to what extent am I aware of like my blood flowing through my like, you know, system? I'm not. Like, just like, to what extent am I aware of like the socks, or like how exactly the socks feel on your foot? So it's not like I have to be completely aware of my body to be me, because I don't. And it's not like I have to be completely aware of what it is to be you, to really be you, because as long as we share a lot of ideas, like, to some extent, and again, that's the universe is not like, it doesn't have names. It's all a gray scale. To what extent am I you? It's like, to the extent that we share ideas, to the extent that, like, in some moments we become one thing. And that's like what people talk about whenever, like, they're like, oh, like, we were having sex and we became one thing, and it's all cheesy and stuff like that. But like, to some extent they did.
I think the whole like approach to like, oh, well, that's just touchy feely whatever stuff, and it's like, I think it's all a part of it's all the mechanics as well as the feelings. So with that, is just some quick fire questions. Is killing okay?
Sometimes, yeah.
Why?
Why? Because, I mean, the same mathematical thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, if one person wants to kill two people, kill that one person. If one person, yeah, it's just for the greater good.
The greater good. But couldn't you stop them?
Huh?
Couldn't you stop them?
Again, I mean, it's all like philosophical questions, or like, you know, like or like scenarios where like kind of when I don't know if you're thinking that part in the very beginning, anyways.
No, it'll be separate.
Okay, but I mean, the same thought exercise to where, like, if the only way for you to stop a child mathematically, the only way for you to stop a child from like setting a nuke and killing millions of people is for you to rape him to death, or rape that child to death. Like, and again, it's just sometimes you may have to, obviously, like, try not to. Like, if the only way for you to stop him is rape that child to death, or just shoot him in the head. Shoot him in the head. I mean, it's fucked up to rape him to death.
Yeah. But you shouldn't feel good about it.
I don't know. I guess there's a lot of like difficult things to where I put myself in situations in my mind, as in like, could I kill another person? Like, let's say somebody's trying to kill you. I love you. I don't want you to die. Like, I don't know. Would I tackle them? Sure. What if the only way for me to do it is for me to shoot him in the head? It's like, I would shoot him in the head. And then how would I feel? Like, oh my gosh, I shot a person in the head. I don't know. Like, right here, obviously I'm not really in that situation. I feel like I'd be okay with it. I mean, it's just like like I said, like one domino leading to another. Like, I had to shoot him in the head. Like, so like morally, I wouldn't feel bad, because it's not like, I don't know. It's not like on purpose, like, I want you to suffer, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't feel like I did anything bad.
Yeah. Okay. Politics, should they exist?
We talked about this now.
And
we kind of talk about it.
I mean,
I hope Bernie Sanders wins. I don't think a lot of the stuff that he says can happen, but I feel like, again, like, just the idea of him existing, the idea of him being in office, the idea of, like, I don't know, the way that he wants to fix things is by, just raising the standard of, like, people. And again, that's kind of how I think, if you just if you educate everybody, if you provide everybody with the necessities, like, you create a better world. I feel like the way that other people are trying to do it is to, I don't know the way, because the way that, like, people always want handouts. People always want, I don't know. Some people really need handouts. Some people don't know how to, like, fend for themselves. I don't feel like fuck you, get your own. I don't feel like that is really the best idea.
Yeah. Not that I enjoy politics particularly anyways, but, like, at least you're, like, more, like, communistic rather than capitalistic.
And again, there are good things about capitalism, kind of like I said before, to where, like, the good thing about capitalism, that it's kind of, I mean, in its ideal state, it's kind of like the scientific method. Like, if a company starts, and if it's really good, everybody buys their thing. So that's the really good thing, and it rises to the top. Kind of like the scientific method. Whenever there's an idea, if it's really good, it rises to the top. And then as soon as something better comes in, like, that idea tops that. And then that's kind of like idealistic.
Yeah.
That's the way that capitalism works. That's not how it works right now.
Yeah. Does capitalism cause it? Like,
I feel like it's kind of like, when you really, like, zoom out, like, there are, like, the idea of communism is awesome, the idea of capitalism is awesome, but obviously there should be some checks and regulations on capitalism, and then in communism, obviously there should be some checks and balances on communism, because I believe that the way that communism has been applied hasn't been the correct way. It's always been somebody at the top working from hunches. Like, you know, like, it's my hunch that we should do things this way, as opposed to, like, you know, scientifically, let's arrive at the right answer.
Let's see. Okay. And then I have the last question being, how does all of your, like, life philosophy and religion and all of that, how does that match up with what you want to do?
Again, what I want to do is be a professor and work on my podcast and hopefully, you know, be a proponent of, like, positive memes. Memes as in ideas. You know,
yeah.
You know, positive.
Yeah, I think you explained yourself, and do you want to continue the other... Oh, wait, hold on. Plug your stuff.
Oh, yeah. I have a podcast called Muditious. If you just look Muditious on iTunes, you can get that.
You should probably spell that.
Oh, yeah. Muditous. I had to spell it in my mind.
Yeah. Twitter,
on
Instagram.
I don't do too much Twitter. I'm on Instagram, but, like, I don't do too much Instagram. Yeah, I mean, I'm on both of those at Muditious. If there's people that actually want to, like, send me stuff, that'd be cool. Like, I mainly, like, at this point, I've just been putting out podcasts just for funsies, and I don't promote myself that much. It'd be nice if people, like, message me and I knew that there's people listening. Just why not?
I want people to listen to your podcast. Thank you. I work on your podcast.
Yes,
and
you do.
It's
good. Thank you.
And I really enjoy the podcast, and so I want more people to listen to that. Yeah. What else is there? Like, is there something that you need people to know about, or?
No, thank you.
Advice for wandering souls?
I don't know what kind of... I mean, again, if it's... I don't know what kind of advice. You need to, like, ask me a question. If you want advice, email me at muditious at gmail.com. I mean, it's nice that you think of me for advice, but then again... Yeah.
No, I mean, we're all humans trying to figure things out. And some of us figure it out more than others, and some are just sort of winging it.
Dude, everybody's winging
it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.